Hey, what's up, everyone? Nick Zhang here on a lovely Sunday night. Had a great day today. Went to brunch, boozy brunch. Need I say no more? Then I went, checked out the tracks, bet some money, lost some money. All right, I didn't really lose that much money. It was just $10, and I made $6 more. Anyway, tonight you're probably wondering why I'm recording myself right now. So I've been playing a lot of Magic: The Gathering online, and I've been doing some drafts, and I've been meaning to start recording me playing, just because it's fun. Might as well like record what I'm doing, and then and just like I don't know, just produce content around it. There's a lot of people doing this right now on YouTube. I kind of want to start to get into it, and I'm a little rusty on talking into a mic, into like an invisible audience. I have no reaction. I might start adding like laugh tracks just to I don't know, make this more interactive. I might be doing Twitch streaming in the future, but for now, I'm just gonna basically pre-record some of my plays, and then I'll talk over it afterwards on my decisions and how the games went. In the future, I might do live streaming and also live playing, but for now, I'm just gonna like just show you some replays and also what I end up drafting. So today, so this is my kickoff game, and I really just wanted to show the replays of what happened during this game and also what I drafted. Normally I go like maybe I win 2 games out of 3. But this one I just whooped ass, just like whooped fucking ass. Sick ass deck that I drafted. And I just really wanted to show the gameplay because I thought it was really fun and there's some tight moments. Overall, what I ended up drafting was a kind of like a blue green, just like value, just good stuff deck basically. I When I first packed, I basically opened up an unethered express. Hold on, actually, um, basically direction was end up being blue green. So I got some really good bombs like untethered express. Let me put up the display preview. So untethered, god damn it. How do I fucking show the preview pane? All right, well, whatever. So Untethered Express is the bomb ass vehicle. I mean, it's uncommon, but it plays basically like a bomb. Once you get it going, it just gets bigger and it's really hard to stop. The real like what really just guided me going in blue, I mean green at least, was the Crafter's Bestiary. This thing is a beast. Like if you get creatures going with this, you will be drawing cards like every turn, and you're gonna see it in this game in the replays. I was just drawing like 3 cards per turn. It was just a sick engine. One, they just could not get rid of it. I mean, all I was just basically able to go through my entire deck. Other cards that even added more value was the Wildest Dreams. Basically, I can use up everything and then just re-get it back in the late game. Insane card. I pick up 2 Lifecraft Cavalries. They're like the bombs. Ardar Express is a pretty good vehicle bomb. I'm not relying on it, but it's pretty good. In addition, there so many of these creatures come in with into the battlefield effects. I mean, so I have an Illusionist Stratagem. It basically allows me to get even more value of those creatures. I didn't really use it that much though, but like it was just a good backup plan. Um, Also, bomb. I got a Trophy Mage, which basically means I can search up the Lifecrafter's Bestiary. Insane. Um, some really good enter the battlefield effects. Filigree Familiar, like I gain 2 life. Rogue Refinery, I get energy. Um, oh, like also I picked up a decoction module, which really worked really well with like all the other creatures in the deck, because I could basically return to my hand. There was one game where I was just returning this to my hand each turn. I was getting 2 life. In addition, I had plenty of sacrifice outlets to get the Revolt triggers on the Lifecraft Cavalry. I had some really sick turns when I had the Hidden Herbalist. I basically sacrificed something, dropped this, and just pulled in more creatures onto the field. Yeah, I mean this deck played out really interesting. The curve was awesome. I felt like I was never screwed on land. Um, it doesn't have too much removal. Like I had the Select for Inspection, which was really clutch. Especially because I can pick it up later with all the streams. You're gonna see one game where I had to leave in the dust that just like really won me the game after picking up from all the streams. So overall, just had some really exciting gameplay, really interesting draft. I mean, I knew like like I knew like going into I pretty much mono blue, greened it until I picked up some blues. Um, yeah, on my sideboard I was able to get a natural obsolescence that really helped out a lot. So overall, like I was really happy with the draft, and then going to the games, I was just whooping ass, and I was just it was awesome. So let's just watch some replays. Where? All right, so let's watch match one. So I won the die roll. Um, my opening hand. I mean, it was a decent opening hand. Like, I mean, it was like I had some 3 drops and 5 drop. Like, I wish I got some 2 drops, but I think I was comfortable having it. Like, this would have gave me back some life, and I could be aggressive on turn 3 if they don't have anything. Um, yeah, played forest. All right, so I was playing up against a white deck. Yeah, Narnum Renegade. I think I saw this in Pack One as well, and usually I'm comfortable getting it. It's a great green card to put in your base green deck. Um, so dropped an Aether Stream Leopard. I didn't want to trade with it yet. I'd rather just get in some damage. Um, yeah, and then I picked up my Untethered Express, and so went in for some damage, and then dropped the Untethered Express. At this point he's gonna stay back, and he's gonna block it, and he's gonna get a lot of value off killing it with the Death Touch. But I knew I was gonna get some damage in at the same time. Dropped the Druid of the Cowl. Love this card. Really great mana ramp. All right, crewed up. So I just had to get rid of their board. You know. And then boom, I wish I could have got more value out of this, but at the same time, I had to add pressure. Boom, drop the Hidden Herbalist. It comes in with 2 extra mana because of the Revolt trigger. Lifecraft Cavalry, great bomb. I think all the green creatures are just like really good in this format. I mean, they pretty much half. I mean, this had trample, this has trample, this has trample. Like, it's really hard to chump block in this format against the green, which is why I think it's just the most popular color right now in the Aether draft, Aether, Revolt, Kaladesh. Um, Picked up a Vengeful Rebel. I mean, that's a really good card. Fortunately, he was probably hoping that I was gonna block this with this guy. I saw through that. I didn't want to lose this creature. That's the thing. It's really easy to telegraph in this format, like what you're gonna do. Like, he's gonna attack with this, and then I was gonna block. He was hoping I was gonna block, but that's the thing about Revolt. It's kind of hard to really do in a pinch, especially if the opponent knows what you're trying to do. I'm happy with that. Happy with that trade. I pull in my second Lifecraft Cavalry. So as you can see, I'm definitely better on board presence than he is. Um, Now he's trying to catch up, but I've still got some stuff, and I'm happy to wipe out his board come this turn if I can, because I've still got stuff in my hand. Hinterland Drake, great card. More often than not, like, it can actually just blocks a ton of creatures in any color. Um, and then if you add a counter onto this, it's like 3/4 in the air. It's like pretty tough to get rid of. Got rid of my vehicle, which is kind of a shame, but whatever. Yeah, I'm like happy to make this trade coming up. Like, just wipe his board. Yeah, green just trades really well against everything else in this format. This is hard. This is going to be hard to get rid of. But You'll see in a moment. So I picked up the illusionist stratagem. You know, I could have just attacked. I think once I have this, you know, you can do a couple things. You can attack, and then if they don't block, you can and they attack the next turn. You can use this and reset these and use them as blockers. Um, Just went in for some damage. Yeah, he's not gonna like. He didn't want to attack because he probably afraid we're gonna come in for more damage. Select for inspections. Really great combat trick. That's a great card. All right, so I've got him on the ropes. You know, like if they get rid of this flyer, honestly, I could still use the illusionist stratagem and reset things, which is great. And if they had a flyer of their own, well, that'd be hard. They'd probably delay a couple turns, but I had some stuff in my deck that I think, yeah, honestly, like if they threw another flyer on there, great, that was bigger than this, I would have had a really hard time. And then opponent concedes. So yeah, I mean, did pretty well this round. I felt like it was. I mean, look at all the cards I got rid of, and look at all the cards I got rid of theirs. I mean, like we were just making it work, you know, with getting a lot of value. Uh, and then in the second game, it's a much longer game. I mean, this was pretty epic. So I'm on the draw, and this is a great curve out. Druid of the Cowl, Decoction Module, Aether Stream. I probably went Druid of the Cowl, then Aether Stream, and then dropped the Decoction Module. Oh yeah, this is weird. He actually let me play first. I mean, I don't really suggest anyone to do that. Um, yeah, I mean, so drop the Druid of the Cowl. Oh no, I dropped the Decoction Module first. Oh, interesting. Why'd I do that? Huh. Oh, that's weird. Why did I do that? All right. Well, past in the past, future's now. All right. So I'm feeling pretty good about this because I've got stuff in my hand and I can start being aggressive, and he hasn't really done much. I mean, at this point, right? So he drops that, which obviously prevents me from punching in. Um, it's kind of annoying, and he gets the revolt trigger. So he's probably thinking, "Oh shit, it's not gonna be like the last game. Fuck this guy." Um, so here I end up dropping the scrounging bandar, hoping that by next turn I'm gonna add it to this guy, Druid of the Cowl. So I've got some stuff on the board. I can threaten him. He's not gonna necessarily just come in, and well, he does that. So basically, I'm diminished on my side, and I don't want to block him. Yeah, this guy's definitely feeling good on his side. Um, so I decided to put on Druid of the Cowl because I know that I'm not going to be really attacking with the Aetherstream Leopard. And I'd rather just have like a card that like I was going to get a much bigger body, I think, out of this one, and I'd rather not make a trade with this. So I was playing defense. Um, yeah, anytime where like you're doing two for ones is like it's like it's a good feeling of Magic, honestly. So I got rid of their board. So he starts dropping. I'm feeling pretty good because if that's his only, I think he has a couple of these on his deck, and I'm not. That's not a scary five drop at all. Now think about it, if I had picked this up, it would have gone great with this. Um, so here's where things get interesting. I pull out the Trophy Mage, and I decide to get my Lifecraft Bestiary. How badass is that? You're about to see shit just go off once this thing's on the board. So interesting. I don't know why he didn't I don't know what he could have attacked. So if he would attack with this, yeah, he wouldn't have killed this. I mean, yeah, like if he would attack with this, I would have blocked with this, and him. Right. He would have first struck this away, and then he can't break through these. Okay, maybe it wasn't a good idea to. So it's not a good idea to block actually. Um, well, I can touch this, even though it's a replay. Anyway, all right. So look at that. So in addition to winner, so at the beginning of your upkeep, you can describe one. So yeah, I get to like basically preview what I'm gonna draw, which is insane. I can bottom or top it, and then once I cast a creature spell, I may pay one of these forests, and then I get a draw card. I mean, this it's such an insane card. So much value. Watch, just boom, boom. I paid one. Got an island. And then I start returning stuff to my hand with the decoction module, so I can redo do it over again. So he destroys it, which sucks because like I didn't get my engine going. You're gonna see in the future replays what's gonna happen, but in the upcoming matches. So yeah, turning my hand. Yeah, and then I drop the Filigree Familiar again. I gain 2 life when it enters the battlefield, so I continue to do this for like a couple turns. Um, as I'm just basically drawing into my deck. He still doesn't go for the attack. He doesn't have a good. He can't punch through without losing that card. This is moneymaker right there. It's like boom, returning to my hand again. Yeah, and all the while I'm getting energy. I mean, unfortunately, I didn't have too many cards that really used up a lot of energy, but I could have got an insane amount of like value out of that as well. Yeah, I mean, for future drafts, Decoction Module, you just got to take it regardless of like what you end up drafting. It's such a good card. So Solemn Recruit is getting pretty big. Um, I don't know what he's waiting for. Like I'm wondering what's going on in his mind. He's probably just like it must be inevitable like that he's just gonna lose to this much value. He's probably pissed. I'd be pissed if I was looking at this. Yeah, look at that. Just gaining life each turn, 2 life. I'm back to where I started. I mean, he's at 33, but I'm back to where I started. So the late game on this is pretty dope. Drop, I get an Aether Swipper, so I can start punching for damage in the air now. So he's trying to do some shenanigans, probably trying to make a trade, trigger Aether Revolt. But I'm like, whatever. I get 2 life each turn. I don't really care that he's doing 3. Um, yeah, like he was trying to make a trade for that with that, but And then I get a Wildest Dreams, which is like, I mean, once you have this in your hand, it's almost like having you can basically get as much stuff as you want back. Like it's just yeah, I yeah, and I didn't want I could have got Lifecraft's Bestiary right then, but I think I was waiting for more targets, like a heavy like a bomb to get in my graveyard. Um, yeah, so I decided to make. So ultimate thing about this is that you can block and then take it back to your hand. So you're just fogging their attacks. And if they have trample, it still doesn't have the trample damage go through. So I mean, this goes on for a while. We just stall for a while. I'm just punching through one in the air. He's got plenty of energy to draw from the Glint Sleeve Siphoner, so he's got his own engine going on. At this point, I decide to block. I mean, he's only got one card in his hand, like whatever. He's probably trying to even out the board. I pulled the Rogue Refinery back. Yeah, I mean, so I mean, flyers are just crucial, like to kill board stalls. You know, um, got my implement. Got to drop it on the Drake. I kept 4 mana up this turn just to like in case I want to return a creature to my owner hand, in case he has like a removal or something. It's not like I'm attacking it. I didn't want to drop the implement on the hinterland, but I was planning on it. Um, yeah. So yeah, Rogue Refinery back to the hand, fogged it up again. Yeah, I mean, look at this. I got so many options right here. So many options. I could use pretty much all these and then get them back the following turn if I wanted to. So it's just like it's a fucking insane deck, man. Yeah, like so much value. I mean, it's what turn? I don't know what turn it is, but I mean, it's like 12 minutes, 12 minutes in, and I've got 4 cards in my hand. In addition, to be able to touch my entire graveyard. I've got this many creatures on the field. I got a return to my hand engine. Yeah. I just decided to chump. Yeah. Then I returned it to his. Yeah, I just basically got rid of their strongest creature. And at this point, I should start trying to rail it in. Yeah, attack with everything. He just lets it punch through. Yeah, I mean, he must be pretty, like, mentally defeated at this point. I'm just, like, getting so much value. I mean, I was feeling real good on my end. Yeah. He decides to take down 4 damage to a target creature with flying. But luckily, this is the part where, you can start. What'd I do? Oh, yeah, look at that. I used the Illusion of Stratagem, put both of them back on the board. Um, just drawing. Look at like 5 cards in my hand this late in the game. It's like consistently 5 cards. Oh, this is the part where I go. Oh yeah, pulling in the wildest. Was I trying to do the wildest dreams? What was I doing here? Decided to attack first. I mean, he went from what like 15 to 5. He was at 33 only like 3 turns earlier. So let's go back for a second. How do I go back? So I basically just dropped the wildest dreams and then I brought back all this mess right here. Look at that. So many options. So he drops in a Johnny Unyielding. He's probably like, oh, I wish I got that earlier. This is a pretty threatening card. His +2. So he ends up, yeah. So he ends up getting rid of the Lifecraft Cavalry. I mean, yeah, this thing had trample. Like everything else would have punched through. Yeah, that's probably the right move. But he could have revealed the top 3 cards of your library, put all non-land permanents, reveal this when you hand the rest. I mean, he could have got more creatures on the field, but I'm pretty sure I have enough things with trample. I mean, this thing would have gone through. Yeah, I mean, I would have probably would have got through anyway. He just wouldn't have. Not, unless he made some major top decks, he wouldn't have had anything to help out his board. At this point, I just decided to just like go for it. Um, and if he ends up doing something sneaky with his one card left, I had enough options, like to deal with whatever he would have countered with. I decided to go all for his dome, not even like attack the Ajani. Yeah, like he just conceded right there. So yeah, that last match was, it wasn't. It was kind of a nail biter for me, to the very end. But it was like my engine was just going so strong, it was inevitable. I mean, I just don't think he had enough bombs to deal with it unless he could clear my board with like a sweeper. Um, Match 2 is even crazier. So opened with this, and I basically kept it. Like I could have turned one unbridled. As long as I draw a third land, I was pretty good. If I get the third land, I could drop the hinterland or the Lifecrafter's Bestiary. Yeah, I mean, it would have been great to get an island, but this unbridled growth was, it fixes my mana pretty well. So I decided to drop the Bestiary now. Um, so I scry one. I get an island, perfect. Like this is about to be a sick ass play. So I keep the island. At this point I don't need the unbridled growth anymore. Right? I draw a card. I that triggers Revolt. I drop a hidden herbalist, and its Revolt triggers it when it enters a battlefield and something Revolt. I get to add 2 mana to my mana pool. So I basically get a free. It's like a free card. Um, so I drew a card off of this, and then boom, I get a green wheel Liberator for 2 mana. And with Revolt, it's still the Revolt still triggers, and it enters the battlefield with 2+1 counters. And I still got to use the Lifecrafter's Bestiary. So I drew total 3 cards this turn, and I put 2 creatures on the field on turn 4. Like insane, like a combined 6 power. Yeah, whatever. He leaves in the dust. I don't care. So I decide to bottom that because I've got enough lands at this point. Drop the Aether Stream Leopard. I could have dropped the Greenwell Liberator and a Hinterland Drake, or I could have dropped the Lifecraft Cavalry. Um, but I just want to get value out of the Lifecraft Bestiary, and this is the um, best thing I could put on the board with damage wise, and still draw that card. I didn't want to drop the Hinterland Drake at this point because in case he has removal, I'd rather just save this for the end game because that's how good flyers are when there's a board stall. So he drops a Metallurgic Summoning, and I'm like, we are in for a wild ride. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create an XX colorless construct artifact creature token, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. So I mean, he starts going off with this thing, and yeah, I mean, like, it was a lot of he started generating a lot of tokens. But the cool thing against this guy is that like I had a lot of bounce cards, so like Leaving the Dust, and those got rid of tokens. So I felt okay that he dropped it there, knowing that I have some my main removal in this deck are things that just bounce creatures, and bouncing tokens kills the creature. So decided bottom the land. Get another Lifecrafter's Cavalry, which is great. I'm drawing my bombs. Start going in for damage. You always want to add pressure. Forces them to play defense. I decided to just drop the life cavalry. Just like I said, just need to start adding pressure. And I get value off the Bestiary. So I decided to bottom that 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 Aether Stream Leopard. Why did I do that? Yeah, I think I just needed bombs or flyers or things that I find that Aether Stream Leopard isn't that great from a in terms of board stalls. And I want to start drawing things that could really close the game or give me a lot of value. And I'm getting a trophy mage. Search for the filigree familiar. Like I'm just deck is constantly getting like value. My hands are always full. So this is where he starts going off with his metallurgic summoning. So he ends up dropping Perilous Predicament. So each opponent sacrifices an artifact creature and a non-artifact creature. So good thing I didn't have an artifact creature. Good thing I didn't drop the Ardar Express yet. So yeah, I end up sacking probably the Hidden Herbalist. Yeah, it doesn't provide much value at this point. It really plays its role perfectly in the early game, as as you saw earlier. But in the later games, you definitely don't want to be drawing into that. So he decides to not attack with his tokens. I guess he's just really relying on, I mean, he's playing defense. So this is exactly what happens, right? I mean, if this is like, if he was still at 20 and I was at 18, he probably would be punching through maybe. Yeah. Bottom the land. Look, I've got freaking 7 cards. He's got 3. Look at this. So I decided Ardar Express. I'm thinking there's no way he's got another Perilous Predicament. But even if he does, it's like whatever. I'll make him draw it out. Rather just keep adding pressure. Yeah, he perilous predicaments me. So, man, that sucked. I got rid of the Ardar and the Trophy Mage. But that allowed me to start, adding more creatures to the Greenwood Liberator. Boom. Just look at this, so much value. Like drop the Aether Swooper. Boom. Got more freaking draw more cards. Yeah. He still doesn't go through with his creatures, which is interesting. I mean, at this point, it's like inevitable. Yeah. Windkin Raiders. I mean, he has a pretty. I mean, look, if he wasn't playing against me, then he's got a really dope deck. I mean, 2/5/5s, flyers. I mean, yeah, I can see why he might maybe won his first game. Yeah, got an implement, and then I sacrificed it to draw a card, and then add it to my Hinterland Drake. I just need to get through, or I need to get rid of that Windkin Raiders. Yeah, like I said, flyers in the stall, they're the ones you got to watch out for. I mean, I'm really happy with Hinterland Drakes and how they play out in this format. So, yeah, if I'm trading a 3-mana flying creature against their 6-mana flying one, like, happy to do it. And then, boom, drop my Lifecraft Cavalry. Just pumping out stuff. And then I get Illusionist Stratagem, which is great defensive card. So I'm feeling really good. Like, I've got so many, like, he's got his scary, like, 5/5s, but yeah. So I punch in Lifecraft Cavalry, and this is what I'm talking about right here. Watch. So he blocks with both a 5/5, a 5/5 against my 6/6. So he's thinking, well, I can only kill one of them. I tap for 4 mana, and I leave in the dust his token. So now I basically just, 2 for 1. So using the Merchant Stock Hand, you tap X untap artifacts you control, look at the top X cards of your library, put one of them in your hand, the rest in the bottom of your library. So, great card late game, especially if board stall. So he ends up... Yeah. I don't know what he doesn't show you what he got, but... So boom, I got rid of his Fin Hauler. I got 1 damage through. I got 1 damage through with Aether Swooper. Aether Stream Leopard. So this is all game 1 still of the second match. He pulls in the servo schematic, and it gets 1 artifact, puts a 1/1 on the field. And I need to start watching about Metallurgic Summoning's second ability, which is exile Metallurgic Summonings, return all instant sorcery cards from a graveyard to your hand. Activate this ability only if you control 6 more artifacts. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I draw my decoction module, and I've got the ingredients for the baked goods right here. I got the Lifecraft Bestiary, I got the decoction module. I can start going off too. So at this point, I decided to just go in on it. He's got 8 life left. And yeah, and I don't. Yeah, he decides not to block. I mean, if he did decide to block, you could have construct this against the Lifecraft. You could have basically double blocked here. You could have pillar bugged this guy. Nah, you're right. I had enough stuff for trample. Like, basically, I was going to get through no matter what. So, game 2. Game 2 is even longer at 26 minutes. The previous one was 19 minutes. Yeah, this thing just brings out the late game. This deck, like, it just... Surprisingly, I didn't face up against too many aggressive decks. Because if... Yeah, like, my game really starts around turn 3. Actually, I had enough early game in my deck, but, like, if someone was really aggro, like a white-red aggro, I don't think this deck would have fared that well. So I opened up with Aether Swooper, Scrounging Bandar. I'm really looking for a blue mana source. I'm running 16 lands. Normally I always usually run 17, but I had the 1 mana artifact that drew land, that finds you a land, and also the Unbridled Growth, so I can pretty much be comfortable playing just 1 land less, and I just had so many ways of drawing that as long as I get to turn 3, I feel like most of my games will stabilize. Yeah, still looking for a blue source. All I need is 1. Oh yeah, I sideboarded in the Natural Obsolescence. I think I took out. I forgot what I took out, but I think it was one of the leopards. I just felt like they weren't doing that much value in a board stall. But if I Natural Obsolescence, that's definitely gonna help me out against his tokens. I'd rather just drive 5/5 than have a 2/3 on the board. So it's got a gift to Aetherborn, and I really don't like playing against that card. It's a great card. Um, and we start pretty much racing. I end up taking one of the tyrants and putting on Filigree Familiar because I just need to start adding pressure. Um, Decides not to trade. I decide to put out my Aether Swooper. I'm not going to make any trades. It's got them all for the squad. So, yeah, I decided to sack the Scrounging Bandar and put on the Aether Swooper. I mean, it's risky in the sense that he might, once he reaches turn 5 and get this perilous predicament, he can take out both, you know? But luckily I can make an Aether Swooper, make some tokens. Yeah, I think I got pretty lucky here because he didn't end up having perilous predicament in the following turns. But if he did, I think I would have been fucked this game. I just don't think I would have made it to the late game. Yeah. He's probably like, oh, just give me a perilous predicament. Just give me a perilous predicament. So yeah, we're racing right now. I'm at 15, he's at 9. I decided to gift it Aetherborn because at this point we're racing, and I'd rather just like slow his tempo. I get my decoction module, and I'm feeling pretty good about that. So he tries to leave in the dust me, basically returning this to my hand and slow my roll, and he gets a draw card. But I didn't. He's clearly looking for a 5th land, or something like a perilous predicament, and I don't want him drawing the card. So I just decided to illusion to stratagem, or no, I bring the Aether Sword back to my hand, and because he didn't have a legal target, it countered his card. So he just wasted that card. I didn't, like, yeah, I basically like countered that card without even giving up a card. So he's got the metallurgic summonings now. So I really want to trade here, and yep, Filigree Familiar dies, and I get my Lifecraft Familiar off. Actually, what do I do? Yep. I feel like oh yeah, okay, I end up being able to play both. He leaves in the dust. Okay. At this point, his board's looking better, and I was getting kind of nervous. So what do I do? So I make a token. Yeah, I think I just needed as much creatures on the board to act as a deterrent. So I think do I eat it? Yeah, I do eat it. At the time I just couldn't feel like doing the math, or I was scared that he might have a trick. You know, that move could have gone either way. I mean, I feel like, if I blocked, I'm glad I didn't block, but I feel like that could have gone either way. I feel like that could have cost me the game if I blocked. So I'm glad I didn't, because now I can start being aggressive again. And once you add aggression at this level, yeah, it's just, I don't know, it just really came down to the wire here. Yeah, I don't know, it all got really risky near the end. I mean, he could have like leave in the dust, or he could have had he's keeping this mana up for something. I don't know. But I think I felt comfortable because I had so much stuff, so many options in my hand. Yeah. So I thought he was gonna put on. I wish he put on the construct, then again just natural obsolescence it, but he ends up putting on the gifted Aetherborn, and I select for inspection it. Get the trophy mage, and I think I put it on the bottom of my library. Because at this point it doesn't have any targets. The Filigree Familiar is already in the graveyard, and oh, actually, I don't know why I did that. because I could have pulled the Bestiary. Hmm. I think I forgot about that. I could pick that up. Yeah, at this point, right, he was going for the win here, and he's probably annoyed at my next few steps. Um, so once again, I decoction moduled it because I did not want him drawing a card. Um, and at this point, he's probably thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna win. I'm just gonna punch him with these." But he didn't know about the natural obsolescence. So yeah, block there. At this point, like, I bet he was feeling pretty comfortable, and yeah, like he probably thought he was gonna win the game there. Um, but I pulled this insane move. Got the wildest dreams. I returned one card, which is a Leave in the Dust. And boom, like to the Winkin Raiders, and I think he conceded right there. Yeah. So super close game. Look at that. That was a clutch return from the graveyard. So yeah, I was just feeling really good. I was just, I mean, my creatures were getting. I was definitely 2 for 1ing more than he was, um, or she was. I'm sure girls play Magic too. Um, so on to the third match. I'm feeling pretty good. 2-2-0. Look at that, 2-0 first 2 games. Which guarantees me at least 2 boosters when if in the case that I lose the third game. Um, yeah, and the Bestiary didn't even go off on that last game. It was just pure value from the concoction, and also just like, yeah, bouncing their tokens felt so good. So on to the third game, and like I said, like, wish I had some 2 drops, but once I get to the third, get my third land, and I have it start off the Lifecraft Bestiary. I was feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty confident about the starting hand. Okay, so he's got green, this game I knew it was going to be hard because he's probably going green red, green black. He's going to be aggressive. Like, those are definitely the most aggressive color combinations in this draft format. So I decide to, yeah, I just want to be as aggressive as possible, because I know it's gonna be racing. Like, he's gonna have like, you know, so he's probably like some sort of like revolt triggering. He's definitely got like the Lifecraft cavalry. So yeah, the thing I don't like about playing leagues is I don't think that, like, you're not playing against people that you drafted with. So it's very likely if you go green red, you're likely going to play against another opponent who went green red as well, and they have the best cards in green red, and you have the best cards in green red. Versus, like, in a regular draft, you might go green red, and everyone around you don't. Even if someone else tries to go green red, they're not going to have the best cards of green red. So yeah, you don't get the advantages of drafting in limited. So yeah, I just need to start going off with the Untethered Express. This is such a good uncommon. Like, I'm gonna draft this every time. Um, and then I start, I think, yeah, popping off the Lifecrafter's Bestiary. About to start getting major value. So he drops the Lifecraft Cavalry. Sorry, this is So the Cavalry and this is Bestiary. They're both Lifecrafters though. So I got my Bestiary going on. I bottomed the land. Yeah. So I decide. Yeah, I think I main phased Rogue Refine just in case they start drawing options. I mean, I only have the Leave in the Dust, but if I end up getting the the thing that puts. Oh wait, I didn't put the instant speed artifact removal in my main board. But I don't know. I just decided to. All right, I added this first so I can crew it. Oh wait, that's not what I did. Anyway, I wanted to make a trade. I mean, I wish I could kept it, but I'm comfortable making trades. So this guy he never gets the option to like put one creature on the field and then another one so he can crew this guy. So I decided to put the Greenwood Liberator, but not give value off the Bestiary. It's fine as long as I can add creatures to the field. So he puts a Pemer Outer. This is like insane 4-drop. You know, like no wonder why green was so strong when it was just Kaladesh. I mean, if you're drawing these consistently in the draft, I mean, it's such a good card. I mean, all the green ones are good, but this is pretty good. I mean, 4 mana, trample, and you can fabricate if you wanted to. Yeah, look at that. I mean, he's already got like for 4 mana, he's got like a 5/5 trample. You know, that's very scary creatures. I wish I got some of those. So yeah, I get the Scrounging Bandar, and like it's pretty weak at this point, but I can start adding it. Like, you know, if I start drawing other creatures, I can start adding counters to like if I draw the Hinterland Drake and I had this, like it's such a good combo. Like dropping 2 +1/+1 counters on a Hinterland Drake is really strong in this format. So I was getting value, just getting lots of value. I decided not to keep 1 blue mana up just so I can, in case I need to search for inspection, in case he attacks with this or that. That would have set him back. So he monstrous onslaughts me. So it deals X damage divided to choose among any number of target creatures where X is greatest power. So yeah, I mean that sucks, but look at that. I still got 3 creatures on the board. You know? He doesn't attack. He's holding on to that Pemer Outrider for dear life. I bottomed the land. Look at this. This awesome late game with this card. I can just bottom lands, draw the cards that I want. So I drop a Filigree Familiar. Get the Aether Stream Leopard. So Aether Stream Leopard doesn't help in the late game. Drew another card. Just want to get value. Got 5 creatures on the field. So what does he do? He drops... Yeah. He fights me. Gets through the Aether Stream Leopard. Which is great. I at this point, like, I don't mind using Aether Stream Leopards for trading. So I bottomed the map. Drew the Cal. Yeah, all my small creatures go really well with this when you're dropping just 2 drops and just getting value off this. Basically every card says every 2 drop is now like draw a card, you know, for 1 extra mana. So he's got a pretty good board on his side. I mean, like I said, like the green red is such a good archetype. Although, I mean, granted, these aren't part of the archetype; they're just really good cards. But green red in general, like if you get the right cards, it's definitely the strongest archetype. Maybe next to black green. But I think green red's more strong because it has, I think it just has better removal. So I got the decoction module. And, you know, this is like the mashed potatoes and the gravy right here. Yeah. So I main phased it so I can drop it again. Look at that. So much value. Get my wildest dreams. Like, this right here is just, like, insane. And the illusion of stratagems for defense, or... It's like I don't even care that he like gets rid of my cards. I can just get it back with Wildest Dreams, and my life total's not. He's not adding enough pressure. He wasn't adding enough pressure. So he ends up crewing. He's trying to go off with the Renegade Freighter, and he's trying to punch through. Um, yeah, select for inspections. It slows them down. I'm realizing if you play against red green, you really want to slow them down as much as possible or race them. Um, yeah, I want to get rid of that Pima Rider. I don't mind trading. Draw my Hinterland Drake. Yeah, top that. I love Hinterland Drake. I mean, if I would have got two of these this game, um, that would have really made my deck stellar. Um, it's weird because like this blue green is not really that strong. I think like because I mean the the archetype in Kaladesh really relied on using energy to get as much value as possible. And like if I had rhinos, I think I did have yeah. If I had a rhino or the cub, I mean this deck would have been insane because I would have been using the energy. But I just didn't. I didn't end up getting that. And when you're playing in Kaladesh with in Aether Revolt, the energy archetype isn't as strong because all the good energy using cards are in Kaladesh, and you're drafting with two Aether Revolt boosters and one Kaladesh. So this ended up just being like it was just really Lifecraft's Bestiary, Decoction Module, and the Wildest Dreams, and basically everything was expendable. It's kind of like almost like a graveyard deck in a way. Although I didn't end up using, I basically treated things like a graveyard, but it's not like there was that much graveyard interaction. So I leave in the Dustum. Yeah, I just basically want to like reduce his tempo as much as possible. Um, so I'm at 22. He's at 11 now. He's got to deal with these guys in the air, which is great. Like if he had pulled the 3 mana reach revolt guy, I still would have steamrolled him with the Hinterland Drake. So Drake is just basically that one reach card, that 3 mana reach green card, really sucks actually because chances are if you're going against flyers, your worst enemy is a Hinterland Drake, and it can't block it. So yeah, I've got two cavalries, illusionist strategist, and a wildest dreams. Like I'm feeling pretty good. And this is like the worst thing for I feel green, where they're just playing defense like this. Like if you're not using this, it sucks. Yeah, so he ends the game. Um, yeah, even if everything else here died, I could just wildest dreams bet it back. Like insane deck. Um, so I'm feeling pretty good about the game. Like again, playing against his opponent. I don't think I side. Oh, I end up sideboarding the 2 mana instant. I forget what it's called. The artifact removal 2 mana instant. To get rid of his vehicles, and I sideboarded out of Ether Leopard. I just don't think like that card helps that much in the stall. So I mean, great starting hand, Hidden Herbalist, Wildest Dreams, Lifecraft. Like it's like if I have this in my opening hand, I feel pretty good about almost the rest of the game because I know that like I can just drop this to at some point if I'm trading creatures. Um, So I decided Druid of the Cal of that. Yeah. So he's got the Renegade Freighter, so I'm getting, getting a little nervous, but not too nervous, because I'm about to get value. Draw a card. Hidden Herbalist, boom. Drop a Drake. Look at this. 3 creatures on turn 3. And, yeah. So, my opponent makes a fucked up mistake, and it probably cost him the game. He Chandra Revolutions my Druid of the Cowl, and here's what he says. He ends up tapping his own mountain versus mine, pinning me down. I mean, if he would, so he just fucks up there, and he does by accident. I mean, if he would have tapped my forest, next turn I would have had to. I probably would have played the Renegade map, and then attacked for these 2, but it basically would have wasted me a turn, and basically he had paid the mana, clicked one of my guys, and then it didn't cast it, so he figured he didn't tap enough, and then he tapped more land because he thought he didn't use all the he wasn't paying the mana cost right, and then he locked down his own land. So he was a good sport about it, but I mean, if I was him, I'd be so pissed. I ended up drawing 3 islands, so I mean, he would have tapped down the forest. I would have had 3 islands basically I could use, which is fine actually. It's not that bad. I could have just trophy maged, and then got my Bestiary. But instead, because he fucked up, I got to pull a Renegade map and drop a trophy mage and got my Lifecraft Bestiary. So yeah, it wouldn't have been the worst thing if he tapped down my forest, because I still would have got the Bestiary. But it gave me the inevitability because I got to pull off my Lifecraft Cavalry on turn 5. Yeah, so drop the Renegade map, I grab a force, and then attack with Hinterland Drake in the air, and then drop the Lifecraft Cavalry. Yeah, at this point he ends the game. So yeah, I mean, just killed it. Yeah, so that's how the game went. So basically, as you saw, I was just getting so much value from the Lifecraft Bestiary. I mean, this card was insane. Trophy Mage plus Lifecraft Bestiary is insane. Hinterland Drake for the win, pretty much like most games. I'm gonna highly pick this in future drafts. I just think 2/3 flying is just really strong right now. Select for inspection. Yeah, also the decoction module is just insane. I'm basically just second or third picking this, maybe even first picking this, especially if the rare sucks moving forward. Yeah, Green Will Liberator, I don't know how to feel about this card, because if you drop, I mean, the only way to feasibly drop it turn 2 is if you get the Renegade map. You could Renegade map, hit an Herbalist, and then Green Will Liberator. But I mean, I needed a 2-drop. I didn't really get I didn't really get to. I feel like actually next time, if I was. Yeah, I think it was alright to I needed a 2-drop, more 2-drops. It was really hard sideboarding because I wanted everything here. Yeah, there are moments I had a Glimmer of Genius, that would have been fun. I feel like Era of Innovation actually would have been great because I was getting so much energy, but it was just a waste because I had so much energy. I was always getting 10, 15 energy and I couldn't use it. Actually, Janjeet Sentry would have been sick because I could have been tapping their creatures. But I feel like for 3 mana, I don't know, the 3 mana spot, I think it was important to have the aggressive Aether Stream Leopards for the early to mid game. I just had to add pressure somehow throughout most of the game. I think I won through a lot adding pressure. For the most part, they had I was playing against maybe better decks, but I needed to add the pressure to make them basically make worse decisions. They couldn't be aggressive. But anyway, that's it for this time. I just really wanted to show off the game because I had a lot of fun with them. Yeah, I don't know if you guys like these videos, I'll continue making them. I guess I'm not really doing this for any sort of like, I'm not trying to build like any like a large audience or anything. I just feel like if I'm gonna draft and play some games, I might just record it and then just like put it online. And there's Eric.